Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 17 of Rapid Unscheduled Discussion. I am, of course, your host, Seth Kurkowski, and with me today is some dude I found off the side of the street, Daryl Sausse.
Hey there, all you cool cats and kittens. What's happening? I'm Daryl.
And you're drinking. Okay, awesome.
Yes. Yes.
And with us today as our special guest, we have Alex Martin from Sidewalk Science Center. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty well. How are you guys? Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. How's your day been going so far?
It has been sprinkling, but got out to do some birding about 4 o'clock, so it was a nice break.
That's good. That's good. Daryl,
Good deal. Good deal.
how's your week been?
It's been.
Ben? Busy day
It's been.
editing photos?
Yeah, I've been knocking out a lot of stuff from a wedding I did 2 weeks ago that I tweeted about. I just put stuff up over the weekend. Got a lot of, positive feedback from it. Everybody loved it. Bride and groom's happy. I got more on the way. It's just, I took a lot of stuff, and I'm really taking my time with it because I want it to be really beautiful for their
I don't
special
want to be
day.
mean.
They really love it.
I don't want to be mean. It's not about you. But the priest or the person officiating the wedding.
The referee.
The referee. All right.
That's
I'm
what you
looking
call
at
it.
I'm looking at him like, okay, well, he's obviously not a normal pastor.
Oh,
But he's
no.
wearing a collar shirt and a tie. But I'm like, is he wearing a graduation gown?
Like a graduation gown, judges.
Okay. All right.
Thing,
So that was all
whatever.
that was all supposed to, I'm like something like interesting.
He's definitely not a pastor. He was probably just registered with the city of New Orleans to be able to officiate.
I'm a ordained minister. I am the
I-
space priest.
I literally can be in my Mardi Gras crew.
Yeah.
Like, like I can be ordained in the intergalactic crew of Chewbacca's, and I can do weddings.
If you ever want to know, if you ever if you're just wondering, yes, it does take like 3 seconds to be ordained.
Yes, it
It
does.
literally takes only 3 seconds. Put my name, my email address. That was it, and I was ordained.
Wow,
And I'm like, I was
Wow. expecting
expecting a payment. I was expecting something. Nope, you're ordained. So
wow.
if everyone needs a priest out there, I also do photography. You can
You
get
can't
two,
double
two
dip.
for one. Two
You
for
can't
one.
double dip. I tried doing pictures and video for a wedding, and oh my god, it was. Ooh.
Hey,
So
man,
yeah, don't
If I
double
can
dip.
do video, live stream, and photos for a launch, you can do all three of those for a wedding. Though I have not successfully done that yet for a launch. I've attempted to do all three, but I have failed every time.
And I got to cut back. Trying to run 4 cameras all for stills during a launch, I screw up.
Okay,
everything.
that's just overkill.
It's 2 streaks, 2 stills. Or I'm sorry, 2 streaks, stills, 2 videos. It was just too much for CRS 20. It was just way too much. So yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah. So.
So, the name's still gonna mess me up. It says Scott and not Alex, but
Yeah.
it's still gonna mess me up the
Try to
entire
get that
time. I'll look
changed.
it over and it says Scott. I'm like, I'm gonna call
Where's
you.
my post-it so I can put it right there?
Just literally put it right in his face. Just say Alex.
No, I'm gonna put it right next to it. I ain't gonna be as rude as you.
So, what do you do? Like, talk about Sidewalk Science Center a little bit. Give us a brief. Like, what is it? What do you do? And what all that other stuff.
Yeah. So Sidewalk Science Center is essentially what it sounds like. It's a little table of science experiments and sometimes a telescope. And I let people who are walking by on the sidewalk or who are on the playground, or I'll go to the beaches sometimes and do it. I've done that Cocoa Beach several times. The last time I did it there was actually for Solar Orbiter. I was there, and right underneath the pier. So you have the kids' families who are staying there for the rocket launch come over and do the experiments. But I kind of have like a 24, 25 experiments, and I'll rotate through them throughout the month, and just get people involved and engaged with doing science, and like really seeing the process in their own hands, and having a space to have a dialogue about different scientific concepts and things that are going on in the world at the moment. So it gives them an opportunity to ask questions that they might not know who to ask, and to see things that they've never seen. And especially with the telescope, so many people who come through and look at the telescope have never used a telescope before. So it's a
I've
great
never
way
used
to get it in front of people.
I've never
Yes,
used a telescope either.
Really?
I've never used
That's
a telescope.
surprising.
Nope.
Honestly,
So-
with the lens you have, it's like the equivalent of a telescope.
Yeah, it's valid. Like a
Trust me.
600 millimeter is, but really you can see the moon really well. That's pretty much it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
have Jupiter and Saturn are coming around here in July, so they're
Yes.
rising at like 130, 145, or yeah, around there, 145 right now. So,
Yeah, and it's
Oh, yeah.
getting earlier. I know I did a session or two astrophotography like 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, something like that. I was out till like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I said, you know what? They're coming up over the neighbor's house. Let me just wait it out. And I looked at it, and I know what you're getting at with showing people things through a telescope that they never seen before. Because after a lot of fine tuning with the focus in and waiting for it to stop shaking and whatnot, I was actually able to make out the rings of Saturn through a telescope. Like nothing between me and Saturn except a little bit of glass to help me see it better, and I was just floored by it. I really was. So
For
yeah,
DM2.
it's
since-
really great what you're doing.
Yeah, for DM2, since I'm going to be out there, I'm pretty sure I pretty much have that property that I'll be at pretty much all day. I can show up whenever I want.
Mhm.
Might be getting there quite early with my 2x on my 600, so it's
Yeah.
1200 millimeters, or I'll have the P900, 2000
Mm.
millimeters.
Mm.
Get out there in the morning or get out early in the morning when the sun's still low. What?
Man, those things are the 2,000 millimeters. I'm like, yeah, you'll be able to see it, but
I almost did the P1000, which is 3000 millimeters. Because I remember I hung out with Rez Rhetoric and Astronomy Live a bunch for lunches.
Mhm.
And Red Rhetoric, he just has P1000s.
oh, dang.
I think he's upgraded since then, but he used to just run like dual P1000s for Falcon Heavy launches, and you just have one on the on the landing and then one on launch that you track with. Like his setup was insane. Their setups were just straight up insane. They're like, have you seen him at all? Have you met him before?
Not them, but I remember the setup from the guys that were a little bit down from us for STP2.
Dude, those
They're-
guys, oh my gosh. Whenever I show up to a place for SCLA and I bring all my gear, like, I don't want to say, like, when you bring a bunch of gear to a launch, people start to gather.
Oh yeah.
And it was super awesome. Like, people were all, like, we were like hanging out, talking. Like, I had my camera on the launch pad so they can see the astral rocket. And then these guys show up in a truck pulling one of those massive NASA.
Oh,
Like,
the
observe-
kineto tracking mounts.
Yeah, the big
KTM
tracking
mounts.
mounts that they use for
Yeah.
shuttle and Apollo. Parks it right
And
up, and
another
everyone
trailer to
just
control it.
waves. But they were super cool because they were doing like Saturn and Jupiter,
Mhm.
which that
That
was the
was-
first time I ever saw Jupiter that close to my own eyes. Now that was cool
Yeah.
because they
Yeah,
had
that
straight up
was.
like Jupiter with the moons going around. You can see.
Mhm.
So,
but
that's-
Alex, you getting out there too. I mean, whoever's doing it, no matter how good or bad your stuff is, if you're doing it, getting it out there and getting people interested in it, it's really cool. Like between the two different social media platforms, Twitter and Facebook, completely different groups of people for me. And the fact that what I do on Twitter is now starting to bleed over to Facebook. Like a lot of those friends are starting to get more interested in this stuff. They're like, I can't believe these moonshots you're getting, or the night sky stuff you're getting, or just your photography stuff in general. Like it's really
And
building
that's-
up their interest more and more. So
That's one thing that's small.
get it
that,
out in people's faces, and they're gonna be like, wow, this stuff's really cool. I'm gonna pay a little more attention to this. And bam, there you go. That's a win.
and
for
and
sure.
that's one thing that it's just like just the moon. Like even with my stuff, just 600 millimeter, you can zoom in and you can see the moon move across.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing people have never seen before. Like they know the moon moves, but they've never seen it with their own eyes. So when you zoom in, you can see the moon like move across the lens.
Yeah.
And that's freaked out so many people. Like, oh my gosh, it's moving. I'm like, that's orbital mechanics.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how orbits work. That's how
one-
orbits work.
It's one
Now,
of the
if
things
if I could start getting people in the right place at the right time for ISS transits of the sun and the moon and get them out there for that, oh man, because everybody loves just the videos I put on Facebook and whatnot. If I can actually bring them out there to see it with their own eyes and stuff, granted, it would probably still be through a camera and whatnot, but I can tell them, hey, watch the moon, don't blink at this exact time and count down to it.
Stare at the
You
sun.
know they're going to see it.
Stare at the sun, right at it, Open your eyes wide.
Maybe not the sun. And photographing those transits are tougher than it seems. Believe it or not.
Oh, the sun transits or the transits?
For the setup I have for the solar transits, focusing on the sun is surprisingly difficult. Like, you would think it looks like it's in focus and whatnot, but it's such just like a flat, solid colored disc that it's tough to tell when it's in focus. And I don't know until after the fact that it's not quite in focus on the sun. I fixed my shutter speed issue because the first time, like an idiot, I was shooting at 1/50th of a second, which for an ISS transit, that's way too slow.
I could have told you that one. I've never shot an ISS transit before. I'm like, oh, I heard you shooting in the video. I'm like, that's too slow, bro.
No, I learned my lesson the second time, but the second time, it was just making sure it's in focus. That was really tough. So I need to work on my solar observation setup. That's really tough to do. Alex, you got anything that looks right at the sun?
So when the transit of Mercury happened, I actually borrowed a lens it's an 8-inch Celestron Schmidt-Cassegrain screen. So, it's a pretty big thing, especially for people right in front of me. Actually, right now I have a 2-inch in front of me. But people see this telescope and they're like, this thing's huge. And then for the transit of Mercury, people knew about it, but they didn't really understand what it was. I'm like, take a look in here and you're going to see a tiny black dot. And then what you have to understand is there's 35 million miles between that black dot and the big orange thing.
Wow.
God.
Wow.
Man.
Like that is something like that just blew my mind, and I'm used to this kind of stuff.
I know that. I know that.
Yeah.
But, still thinking about it and, now visualizing it, I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah, right. That is massive.
I remember that. I specifically remember that event, the one from, what was that, last year, I think?
It was November 11th, yeah.
November of last year. Because that morning, I was at the LC-39 gantry to photograph a Starlink launch as it was happening.
Yep.
So I remember
it was
that.
during the transit. It was at 9:35 or something, 2 hours after the transit began.
Oh, imagine if you could have gotten if the rocket transited the sun while Mercury was transiting the sun.
I think Ryan and Mary Liz from Cosmic Perspective got that. They got at least the sun.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
So the sun was right there.
Those people are geniuses.
Rocket, Mercury, sun.
Those people are geniuses.
You know what it is? They figured out the math to do it. There is some crazy complicated math for it, which I've seen it, and I'm like, no, thank you.
I still go back to that the video from Smarter Every Day and Trevor Melman when they did the ISS transit during the eclipse.
Ooh,
that math hurts my head. That math.
No?
That math hurts.
No.
That math hurts.
No.
That math hurts.
You don't need to do that math. You don't need to do that math.
The timing for where they get it right, though?
It's just... I don't want to give away all the secrets, so I'll tell you after the show.
Give away all the secrets.
Okay,
Spill the beans.
Everybody puts out the transit map for the eclipse. You remember how that eclipse started in Oregon and ended in South Carolina? I saw it in Tennessee. Yeah, I saw it in Tennessee. I drove up there. I was like, oh God, where's the weather going to be good at and everything like that. And finally, 2 to 3 days before, I managed to find a crappy hotel room close to where I wanted to see it at. I'm like, all right, the weather's going to be good here. So I went to Tennessee. And you have 2 minutes of totality where I was. I think it was 2 minutes and 35 seconds that I had in Tennessee. So if you can line up totality with a transit, there you go. I told you about the Transit Finder website where you plug in your location, how far away you want it to search, and it'll tell you a sun transit or a moon transit, and you just line them up and go there.
But I feel like knowing Dustin, he did the math himself.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you
that's the one thing I feel like I can't imagine actually doing the math, though. Use the websites, yes, but I feel like he did the math. He's one of those people no, websites, I could do it myself.
Props to the people that do the math.
The people who create the websites who do the math.
So, going back to launches, next on the docket.
Do you want to get up with some news?
Oh, let's talk about it, man. Let's dive right in. DM2 is up next on the board.
Literally, that. As soon as when Christine mentioned that on the NSF live stream, was it today? He's like, man, I just got chills. And I'm like, man, I got chills too. Like, the next launch, not the next launch in the world, the next U.S. launch will be launching humans.
What's the next one in the world?
I believe there's one from Japan. HTV.
That's all Jax's patch. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the JAXA HTV or whatever it's called. Yeah, is that launching tomorrow? Wednesday?
Let's check. Check the app.
I don't know. But I know that's launching this week. That will launch and dock before DM2 launches.
Okay.
Let's see what we got here. Hold up. I gotta find the...
Get your app, buddy. Get your app.
Get my, what app?
One day, 17 hours away.
One day, 17 hours.
Yep. Oh, and then there's a Russian military launch.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, yeah. No, the pending Starlink basically got kicked to the other side of DM2. The weather kind of threw things off, and just read the instructions is not ready yet. But side note, it is undergoing sea trial, so it's good to see my old barge getting out there, getting back into the swing of things.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Is it back?
What? Just read the instructions?
Yeah. Is it back, or is it still out there?
I don't know if it came back. I think I know it went out. I don't know if anybody was there to catch it.
I saw some good pictures from
Kyle.
From Kyle. Yeah, I was like, well, who took the pictures? Gavin. It was Kyle. But we also have pictures of the DM2 capsule arriving. I thought it was already there for some reason, but it arrived at Kennedy Space Center today. Astronauts arrive on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Are they still coming in on T-38s?
I believe so. Yes.
God,
all I know is that I remember.
Weren't those supposed to be retired like 20 years ago or something?
I think they were, but they're so freaking good.
Oh no!
I don't think NASA will ever get rid of their T-38s. I think they retired all the other because they're training aircraft.
I just bought lottery tickets earlier today, and I swear if I hit that Mega Millions, I am learning to fly and buying a T-38.
Okay.
I am dumb enough to do it.
I'm in the middle of my ground course training still for pilot training. It's a lot. It's so much, dude. Like I've been doing it for the past year, and it's so much time.
Jeez.
Yeah. If you can hear the thunder.
Yeah,
Florida cannot chill right now.
Nope. Florida has no chill. It's that time of year.
It's that time of year again.
But yeah, so yeah, Bob and Doug are getting there on Wednesday. And interesting tidbit I learned just before the show is that Bob Bankin, or no, was it Bob? No, it was Doug. Actually graduated college right here in New Orleans at Tulane University. So yeah, yes indeed. I
don't know what to do with that information.
I'm just proud of the Louisiana connection in this.
I found out there's so many astronauts from Wisconsin. It's crazy.
It's kind of like the whole Purdue thing. I think is it Purdue?
Yeah, I think it's Purdue.
Where a ton of the Apollo went.
If you want to be an astronaut, go to Purdue, pretty much.
Yeah.
And be from Ohio, apparently.
Oh, so Deke Slayton. Oh, Deke Slayton's not from Wisconsin. No, Deke Slayton is from Wisconsin. Deke Slayton's from Wisconsin.
That's your state, buddy. You should know.
There was one of the astronauts from Challenger was from Wisconsin. One of the newer astronauts from Wisconsin. Wisconsin's getting it. They're going.
Hey,
they're not. It's not Ohio, but it's going.
They're challenging Ohio's record.
Yeah. So, what was that? Oh yeah, so T-38s. Yeah, so they're training aircrafts for all the branches. I believe that they retiring them as training aircraft, but NASA I believe is keeping them for their astronaut aircraft. I don't think NASA will ever get rid of the T-38s.
They're too iconic. Why hasn't there been a successor to it yet?
I think it's too freaking good. It is a very great aircraft. It is a really good aircraft. I remember I read that about it. That
it's
they don't
too
want
much
to retire
fun.
it.
No, the astronauts say it's too much fun.
T-38. They've used T-38 since the Apollo program.
Yep.
So there's no way NASA would ever get rid of the T-38s. Now the other branches probably because I think they're old, and they've discontinued the T-38s. I think it's still a T-something. It's just a higher number that they're getting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a T-39 maybe. I don't know. There was a long time ago when I read that article about them, but yeah. So what? DM2 next up. Starlink's after DM2.
Mm-hmm.
They've also, SpaceX announced, SpaceX/Tesla/NASA announced their crew transportation vehicle. Are you ready?
Just do it. We've all seen the tweets.
Oh yeah, like it's
we've all seen it.
okay. I don't want to hate on it because at least it's not Boeing's. That's all I can say about it. At least it looks more like an Astrovan than the Astrovan looks like an Astrovan.
It's no, it's not terrible. Okay. Here's one thing that I never saw answered. Is it gonna fully self-drive to the pad?
No, I don't think it fully. No, they're not doing that. That would be
Aw.
cool. That would be cool, but no, there's definitely a driver in there.
That is a missed opportunity right there. It really is.
All I'm saying, the guy who took these photos it's legit.
Oh yeah.
Guy knew the angles.
Oh yeah, photographer did a great job. Plus, if he got to sit in it and like spin it around this way, spin it around that way, I'm like,
Oh,
you got
where's
to
the
drive
worm?
that X?
Where's the photos from the worm? Oh, here it is. Here it is. There
You got
was
it.
a frenzy of alternate designs offered,
Yes,
like
there
everything.
was.
And the NASA worm was just becoming
Click
one
that
of
one.
my favorite Twitter accounts. He is low-key becoming one of my favorite Twitter accounts. His Photoshop skills, or this person's Photoshop skills, are insane.
Yes.
Redid the entire thing with the older style NASA National Aeronautics Space Administration little tag below.
I
it.
like that better. I
Well,
like
yeah,
that
that's
better.
what it is in the design standards, which
yeah.
we've all talked about the design standards. I don't think the design standards are the real design standards because apparently NASA does not follow them.
Not anymore.
Yeah,
The book is dated. The book is definitely dated.
the book is dated, but this is the design from the
But
book.
I like that. I like that.
I like it too.
It's much more professional looking.
There is a alternate version of this that has a blue bottom, pretty much like the blue trim on the bottom.
Bring that up.
Oh, I don't know. Who did that? I think it was. Hold up. I think Supercluster did some fun
Really?
stuff with that. Yeah,
He's
I'm searching for it.
he took it out of full screen while he's doing
Well,
it.
you know, I'm searching stuff up, and
It's one of those. It's like I get why they did it and everything like that, and it's a good appreciated effort, but it's one of those like it just seems a little.
oh no, they didn't do the blue.
I don't know.
Because I saw someone post pictures of the different design. It was just a design of like an older style sedan with the
Mhm.
blue, and I'm like, that would look kind of cool with the Model X mode, but their designs didn't have that, but they made them look like the design standard looking pages here.
Hmm.
So this one is okay. Let me know when you can see it.
That's more like a.
It's like a
Stylish
wrap.
chic.
That's like a wrap you'd see out in LA.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Where you like enlarge it so big where part of it gets chopped up, but you still know what it is.
This one I like.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
This one I like.
I do, but if you can see some of that top glass, it's gonna look off. Because
Yeah.
who's gonna look at that from directly above?
Drones, I don't know. Maybe they have drone shots. The drone following the caravan out there. That sounds SpaceX like.
That does, but I'm sure some 45th Space
Or-
Wing security officer
They
is
have
going nuts over that
video. They have TV cameras that are like perched up.
Oh yeah,
Like you saw
Oh,
them
yeah,
from.
yeah.
Yeah, we saw them all from their IFA test. You can
Mhm.
see the top of that.
Yeah.
And what was the last one? Oh, the last one. Okay, this is the one they actually came out with. They just made it into like the design standard looking one. I wish I could find that image I found. It was like a sedan. It had the whole like the classic NASA and the worm, and then the National Aeronautics Space Administration, and then the Kennedy Space Center, and then had blue on the bottom half of the car. It was like an alternate for like official use only cars.
wasn't that the one done by a friend of ours?
No. So the one done by a friend of ours, which is by far my favorite,
Mm-hmm.
but by Dustin Smith, dude,
Yes.
fire,
Yes.
fire.
Yeah, that's really good. Dustin, if you're watching, you knocked it out the park with that one, buddy.
Yeah. The I like the DM2 patch. I like putting the mission patch on the car. It's subtle.
Yes.
It's so freaking awesome.
Yeah. If anything, make it a little bigger. Throw it on the door, but
It's, it's for me. It looks like it's a magnet they can just throw on for every mission.
exactly.
Yeah, they just remove it and throw a new one on every
Exactly.
mission.
And when they get back, it's like, here you go, throw it on your fridge.
And the favorite part about this was me and him were talking about it when he came up with the name for this. The NASA Commercial Crew Electric Ground Transportation Vehicle. Because that just sounds like NASA.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Or they could have just been the Crew Transportation System, just CTS.
Yeah. Yeah. But that leads to something else we were talking about before the show. What do you call this thing? Like the official thing?
I don't know.
What do you call it?
Hashtag my Astrovan.
No.
Because
You
the
can't
Astrovan is
call-
hashtag not my Astrovan.
You can't call it Astrovan like anywhere else. I don't think.
I wanted to call it Astro Sedan, then I realized it's not a sedan.
No.
If they
No,
would have done
that-
Model S's, Astro Sedan would have been a fun name.
Yeah, but
Because I like puns. Astro Sedan.
I don't know. Maybe we should start a Twitter thing.
I
What
think
do
we
you
should just
actually
call it
this
the
thing?
NCCEGTV.
No. Yeah.
Alex agrees. Alex agrees with me.
You have to go.
I saw the nod of the head.
I know that's like the official engineering designation for it. What's the public designation for it? That's what I'm getting at.
NCCEGTV. It's like SLS. There is no name for it. It's just SLS. We can come up with all the names we want for it, but it's SLS.
I need another beer for that.
I'm gonna take a drink.
Oh man, no, we're gonna have to we're gonna have to start. Harry in chat's like the car, just
The car.
the car, the car.
Let's see. It's a Model X.
The
Model
electric
SpaceX.
astronaut transporter.
Astronaut transport. Oh no! I just saw a horrible. Never mind.
The eat.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it is the Model X, so you could call it the Model SpaceX. Because puns are great.
You know, I wonder if Tesla will put out a version related to this.
Oh,
with the
they are
logos on it.
They are working on a SpaceX version of the. I can't remember, was it the Roadster or the Model 3? I think it was the Roadster.
I think it's a
SpaceX
Roadster too.
with thrusters on it. I don't know if that's. I'm not sure if that's still serious or not, but I like it nonetheless.
Let's put a couple of tiny Merlins sticking out the back.
Throw one big Merlin on the back and just. That would turn it. That wouldn't make it though electric no more because you would need to have fuel. Put a little bit of Dracos on the side, so you're making a left turn. Just.
Oh man, that's a heck of a left turn right there.
Yeah, just like on the back right side, it just fires and you just like spin your wheels to the right, and then it counteracts on the other side that make you perfectly straight.
I want to drive that.
Of course
I
you
wanna
do.
Drive that.
Oh, you could
Of course-
use.
of
Oh,
course I
dude.
do.
Like start up like takeoff assist. Hit the gas for the first time. You have like two super Dragos on the back, light up.
Like the Mario Kart. In
Yes.
that corner.
Yes.
Yes.
I would if that was a thing and I was driving it, I would have to dress up like a character, which is always my go-to is Princess Peach. So I would have to dress up like Princess Peach. Yes, my go-to is Princess Peach in Mario Kart.
Mine was Yoshi. Yoshi
Yoshi's
won it
same.
every time, man.
Yoshi was good. All right, no.
Yes, Yoshi won it every time.
Used to
I
do
just
the
had to be
Yoshi
that
voice
guy
perfect.
who got. I had to
forgot
be
what
that
was
guy.
what was the Yoshi voice? Oh god, I can't remember. I'm gonna have to pull out my Super Nintendo Classic and listen for the voice. Yes, yes, that is it. Nailed it. Oh man, I know what I'm playing later tonight. Oh man, so yeah, we're gonna have to start the debate somewhere to name that vehicle. So we're gonna have to get on that in a bit. I don't know, man.
NCCEGTV.
We'll
It
let
rolls
the
right
rest
off
of the
the
world
tongue.
decide.
It just rolls right off the tongue. It's like, I don't know.
Drink some more and tell me how much that rolls off the tongue.
No, it won't. Yeah, not at all. It'll
So, speaking of launch vehicles and things of that nature, I have, well, it's not really breaking news. It's just something I discovered while we've been on the air. So I guess we'll move things along. Everybody's favorite good orange rocket, SLS.
Actually, Orange Rocket good.
Yes, hashtag orange rocket good.
Crispy would kill me if I didn't say that.
So last week, I want to say it was like late last week, mid last week, something like that. Last week, we'll go with that. NASA announced that the green run testing for the Artemis 1 vehicle, the first SLS, is slowly but surely starting to resume. And during the course of this show, I just learned that the Michoud Assembly Facility here in New Orleans, where the core stage of the SLS is made, is starting to get back to work. They will be partially reopening May 18th.
That's
Mission critical personnel is getting back there for the first time in 2 months. So good on them.
Nice.
It's good to see my friends here in New Orleans getting back to work.
That's awesome.
And I would like to put a shout out to Ian from the NSF webcast. I want to say yesterday's webcast. He pronounced Michoud correctly. Thank you.
It was on Saturday, not yesterday.
It was Saturday. It was Saturday. Okay.
I've known
Saturday,
Ian for so long, and finally be able to see him. Like, I've never seen his face before.
Man, the
Tim,
live webcasts on the internet are great for that. Yeah, it was during NSF Live. That's right.
NSF Live, yeah. And like, everyone went crazy, like, Ian, that's what you look like.
And yes, Harry, I am gonna try and go to the green run. It's still a ways off. They're speculating the firing of it. They're gonna do like a long duration static fire of it at Stennis in Mississippi. They're speculating, from what I've seen, November. So it's a ways off. But yes, I'm gonna try and go. I have not been to Stennis since I was a wee little kid. When you used to go in there, when the visitor center was actually inside the grounds and not at a rest stop on the interstate.
Dude, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Now they moved it off the grounds of Stennis, and it is the Infinity Science Center, and that's where the first stage of a Saturn V that was in front of Michoud for decades got moved there when it opened.
Gotcha.
So Michoud has nothing cool in front of it. I'm like, take an old external tank, put it out front, or take that Pathfinder and put it out front, because the SLS Pathfinder is just sitting there. Whenever I go in front of Michoud, I can see it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with that now, because they're pretty much done nothing with the Pathfinder.
They'll probably disassemble it, sell it for scrap. I highly doubt a museum would want that.
I mean, I don't know. They've used, Enterprise is kind of different. That's pretty much what Enterprise was. Enterprise
is very different.
No, they did. There was a Pathfinder shuttle, and it's now it's now an office building on Kennedy Space Center.
Yeah, at the landing facility.
Yes, that was. Yeah. I think that was one of their Pathfinders. So you should turn the SLS core stage, or Pathfinder core stage, into our office building.
Have you seen the Pathfinder for SLS? It's a giant tube with springs on the back, simulating the RS-25.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, it's not like a shuttle at all.
It's like
you could just do something with it.
It's like door stopper springs. You could smack one and it goes.
Is it not? I thought it was also the weight was the same.
No, it wasn't a weight test. It was a fit test.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a weight and fit.
It was for fit testing. But the story behind that Saturn V first stage, I don't know if I've ever brought it up on the show, but I was on a tour at Kennedy Space Center at the Saturn V Center. I was listening to the guy. I'm like, I pretty much know my stuff, but let me just see what he says in case I learn something new.
You always end up correcting him on something.
Oh, I am that guy. I am that guy. That is why I need to stop going into Best Buy and just stick to shopping online only with them, because I correct them like nobody's business. But he said the last remaining Saturn V's were the one at KSC, the one in Huntsville, the one in Houston. That's it. He said that was all the leftover flight ready hardware. Well, afterwards,
even the one in Houston's not flight. All right. Well, it is. No, it was. Isn't that's the testing one? It wasn't. That wasn't a flight proven one. They had 3 left at the end. They had was it 18, 19, and 20 for Apollo programs, 18, 19, 20. They used, I think, 18 for Skylab. So they only had 19 and 20, and then they had the test fit one or the shakedown Saturn one. Where have you seen the video of them shaking that model?
Yes,
that is a hilarious video. They're literally
shaking it
like, with their feet, just kicking the Saturn V and making it shake. Great.
Well,
and that's what. So those are the 3, and then there's the S4. There's that final Saturn V first stage.
Well, here's the thing. I asked the guy about it, and he says, no, that was never meant to fly. That was testing and whatnot. Well, I did some homework. Come to find out that first stage that was sitting in front of Michoud for so many years and then got shipped over to Mississippi, that was supposed to be the first stage of Apollo 18. And the reason they moved it over to Mississippi is because Fred Hayes was going to be the commander of that mission. And he is from Biloxi, Mississippi, right down the Gulf Coast from him.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
They put it a little closer to him.
They had 3 more Saturn V's built for 18, 19, and 20. And I'm not sure which one they used for Skylab. But the one at Kennedy and the one at the Stennis, I believe, right? Those are from
Stennis, yeah.
Yeah, those are the 2 that were going to fly for Apollo.
Yes.
And then there's one that was a shakedown, and then there's that extra stage.
Then there's
the first stage that was built. I don't know what that's for.
The test fit one is in Huntsville, because that one is standing up.
Yeah, the one that was standing up was that test one that they shook, I thought. Maybe. Oh, there's the one that's standing up at Huntsville. So there's 2 at Huntsville.
Huntsville does have one laying down.
They have one laying down and one standing up.
Oh.
And then is that the one at Stennis? Is that just the first stage?
It's just the first stage.
Okay, and then you have so that doesn't count because it's just the first stage. So you have two at Huntsville, Kennedy Space Center, and then does Houston have one?
Houston does have one.
A Saturn V?
Yes, they have a full stack.
Oh, as vertical. That's right.
No.
No?
No, Houston has one laying down. Let's see.
Okay, this is where we start searching things up. This is why it's called Rapid Unscheduled Discussion, because now we're going to start searching things live and figure it out.
Yes.
Oh, did you? Okay, so that's the one. So, the one at Houston is flight. I remember that one. That's a flight-proven one. The one at Kennedy is flight hardware. The one that's standing up at Huntsville, I'm pretty sure is the shakedown test one. I don't know what the one that's horizontal at 7.5.
Here we go. We're all searching for it. Who's gonna find it first?
Oh, Huntsville Saturn V. That's definitely Kennedy Space Center. Oh no, it's not. That is. I don't know. That one looks like it's a mock-up. Yeah, that's a mock-up. At least
Which one?
At least the fairings at the top were. Maybe.
Which one?
The one that's horizontal at Huntsville.
Oh.
Yeah. That one straight up looks. That one. It doesn't look like the one from Kennedy, or it looks like at all. I've been there so many times. I know that one looks like. I know what a flight-proven one looks like.
Well, I be careful with your wording because you can't really say it's.
Listen, I've already eaten my hat on this show before.
Really? I didn't see it.
Oh, that was the one where you weren't here. Because I had to talk about Starship being used for SLS. Mm-hmm. Remember all the times I've said Starship won't be used for SLS. It's too large and NASA doesn't trust it.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you know what, let me let me share my screen for once.
Oh boy.
Wait, how do you do
I have
that?
no idea how it's gonna look like on stream.
I
Oh,
can you see that? Okay,
there we go.
So,
That doesn't look too bad.
so if you look in the top right, I don't know if the zoom overlay is on it or anything like that. Oh, I can move it.
I can move it.
You,
Yeah.
you can see the layout. The interstate is off the picture to the left. And you can see it from the interstate. You can see the F1s and everything like that. So that's what it looks like and everything like that. And I heard the Infinity Science Center is a pretty cool place.
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't been. Shame on me. But
I've only been to Kennedy. I am planning a road trip though to go to all of them. One day when I have enough money in like 6 months to just take off.
I need to make it to California to go see Endeavor.
That's
next.
That's true. I need to go see Endeavor and Discovery and Enterprise. Have you seen Enterprise?
I have not. I have not.
Don't leave out the good one. Don't leave out Enterprise. Don't be mean. She deserves to be seen.
It's on the list. It's on the to-do list.
Speaking of planes,
Go for it.
Speaking of space planes,
Ooh.
there could have been a delivery of an Atlas V via not rocket ship by Antonov AN-124, one of the big boys. And if you've never seen one of these planes, oh my gosh, they're huge.
Yes.
They're so like you could talk all the smack you want about Russia. They make huge planes.
Yes.
The planes are massive. Let me throw this up on my screen.
Here's the other crazy thing about that plane. I've never heard about one crashing before.
And this was not even the big one. There's one larger than this model. This is the big boy, but not the big boy. There's a bigger boy. And so possibly we've had an Atlas. I don't think we have confirmation. It might have came through while we're recording, but no idea.
I think the speculation was that it came from Huntsville.
It came from Huntsville, so it's either a Centaur or an Atlas.
Can't you just truck a Centaur at that point?
I think actually Centaurs are trucked.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
wait, are Centaurs built in Huntsville?
Yes.
Okay. What's trained? Oh, the
SRB pieces.
SRB pieces are trained, which makes no
Yes.
sense to me.
Eh.
How armored do they have to be if they're going through Texas? Because
They're
that's the
not
reason
they're
why
not loaded.
Falcon 9s aren't trained. It's because they get shot when they go through Texas. At least that's the urban legend. Which I just want to be true so bad because it sounds like Texas.
Oh yeah, that's such a Texas thing. I'm sure they do get shot at.
Those things have to be armored. There's no way they're not armored.
It's funny. I have never heard that, but I'm not surprised. Man.
The SRBs being armored?
No,
Or the
that they get
people
shot at going through Texas.
They have to. I'm pretty sure I've heard that from so many different sources that they would get train cars get shot at all the time by Texans, which just sounds so Texan. I want to do that. It sounds like that's the equivalent of Floridians shooting a hurricane. and Daryl is laughing, but Alex is nodding his head like, "Yup."
I know exactly. I saw all the Facebook pages like shoot the hurricane away, like pray the hurricane away. Use your hands as giant windmills at the hurricane.
Daryl is so disappointed in Florida, and we're just like, "What do you expect?"
I can't say I'm disappointed.
Oh come on! I'm sure the occasions by you just have crawfish bowls.
Yep.
You gotta pinch the tail, suck the head, right?
Yes, that's exactly right. Exactly right. You'd fit in just fine here.
I don't know how to do that. I don't even know what the tail is. Where do I pinch on the tail?
Wait, so you've never sat down and peeled crawfish before?
Nope.
Oh, you gotta come.
I've never had crawfish. I've never had. I've had
gotta
lobster,
come to town when
but
they're
I've
in
never
season.
had like a whole lobster where you had to like peel to get the meat. Yeah, I didn't have to work for the meat. The meat was already kind of like prepared for me. It was crab ravioli. Oh my gosh!
Dude, sitting down, peeling crawfish with some beer, and sitting outside with people doing this stuff, you'll never go back to lobster. Like, I have no interest in lobster. I'll sit there and peel crawfish all day. all damn
I've
day.
been so addicted to TikTok since being in quarantine, and there's this guy I've been watching, and he's hilarious. He's like he plays all the different states during the pandemic and like during all their quarantine stuff, and he's from Jacksonville, so he plays Florida perfectly. But he also plays like Louisiana just as good.
Oh,
I think I've sent you a video of him where he's talking about the drive-through daiquiris.
You did.
I got daiquiri almost gone. You got drive-through around here? Oh, what? Florida. Tell me more.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Oh,
Drive-through daiquiris. Yep.
apparently out in Oregon or some state out west is drive-through strip clubs.
Yes. Yes. How did we not think of that here?
I'm surprised you didn't think about that there either. That's straight up Louisiana. You got drive-through daiquiris. You just had to add literally a chick at the end dancing, and it would have been fine.
Wow. We're off the rails now.
You wanted to talk more about the Antonov and the Atlas? Oh yeah, but we didn't talk about what the Atlas is for. The Atlas is possibly for Perseverance.
Possibly.
I'm pretty sure it is, because I don't think they've announced that the Atlas is there yet, and we're getting pretty close to launch date.
Heard that it was.
It usually is. That's the thing. I thought I heard it was too, but everyone I talked to, it's like no. So I'm like, I trust them more than me.
Same. I trust them more than you.
I'm
too.
like, if someone in the Discord that I'm in tells me that's not there, I'm like, I believe you. I feel like I follow this close enough, but not as close as you guys.
Here's the thing that gets me. For one thing, we love ULA around here, but they do get digged on for the Atlas having Russian-made RD-180s. And now here they are transporting an Atlas by a Russian-made plane. When you have Rocket Ship deliver the last D4 Heavy to Vandenberg weeks ago. And it's just sitting in San Diego doing nothing. So I'm like, bring your boat back. Let me get some pictures of it going up the Mississippi. Put an Atlas on it. Let me get pictures of it again going down, and bring it to Florida like that. Come on, you're already getting flack for having Russian engines. Don't fuel the fire with RP1.
But it's a flying god. It's a flying Titan.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Very impressive plane.
Have you seen the pictures of the original Atlases being transported?
No.
Oh, those are weird. The Atlas is as big as the plane, and they just shove it in there. It looks like the plane is giving birth to an Atlas. They open up the rear, and it's just being pulled out. I'm like, oh wow, that is huge. I don't know how that fit in there.
They're like, push. It's a boy.
It's a Titan. It's an Atlas.
Oh man.
Well, I just realized that Atlas is a Titan. So in Greek, Atlas is a Titan, but they didn't. They also had a Titan rocket.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just felt weird.
Am
I the only one who felt that was weird? I just realized that one as well. That Atlas is a Titan, but Atlas is technically not. It's technically a Titan, but also not a Titan because the Titan is a different rocket.
That's totally just you.
But Atlas is. All right, I've lost my mind.
Yes. What else we got, dude?
I want to talk. I want to talk more about Alex. You have those. So with Sidewalk Science Center, you also have like the like science boxes.
Yeah. So like with it, like the table itself has basic experiments. So you kind of like run through something with like physics and forces, and then you run through something with magnetism. I have like a little tray of fossils. Have like diffraction lenses and optical equipment. So the kits that I'm in development on, like, I take one of the experiments at the table, and then I kind of like find more things to do with it and write a booklet about like, here, test this out, like put this together, do this whole thing. And I take like 3 experiments per booklet, and then break them into 9 separate parts, so that you have a lot of information in there. And it's kind of like a design for like 4th to 8th graders, but like a good like introduction to like the scientific method and running through experiments, and like how to what questions to ask as you're going through each experiment. So kind of 1 box per 9 kits per 1 box. 9 experiments, that's the word I'm looking for. 9 experiments per 1 box is like kind of my thing, but it's 3 major experiments that are broken down. So
Nice.
then it comes with equations at the end of the booklet. So if you're like a student learning this stuff in school, you can like look back on this and like it gives you, exactly what you need to do and like how to work with these equations in the real world. So I like use real world examples, like why would you be using this in your own life somewhere or in some laboratory or something. So
that part right there is really cool because I can't tell you how many times I heard other people in school with me like, when am I ever going to use this crap? I'm like, I'm not going to learn this. It just
Yeah,
here,
because a
give
lot
me
of
my
the stuff,
passing grade.
a lot of the stuff they do, like with math. Oh, there's so little math that I actually use. I mean, I'm a software engineer as well. Like that's one thing that I wish I wouldn't mind doing is doing some of the Sidewalk Science Center, but with programming, because people don't understand programming until they see someone program or they program themselves. It is not like what anyone thinks it is. I mean, just today, I get paid to program for a living. I was trying to figure out how to do something. I found I think he was in like high school. This kid was in high school, learning how to program, and whenever he learned how to do something, he made tutorials on YouTube. I was watching a kid in high school teach me how to do something.
Wow.
And I get paid to do it for a living.
How's that college degree working out for you?
Well, okay, that's the thing. You don't really need a college degree to program. Not at all. That's the easiest thing. I learned how to program in high school, like my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
What was it called? It's not a real programming language. It's created by MIT. Oh, Scratch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any of you heard heard Scratch before.
I think I've heard the name.
It's like block programming. So like instead of actually writing out code, like the actual like words or whatever, it's just all blocks. So you just drag and drop them.
it's like Lego does that with the robots, where you want it to turn left, you do this, just drag it up, and
it's like that
in a
pretty much.
sequence.
And
Yeah.
it's really simple and really easy to get into it. And I picked it up like super easy when I first started doing it in high school. And I made some crazy stuff, dude. People made multiplayer games out of that, which makes no sense to how they actually do that because it's not supported in in the thing. But like, it's so much easier. Yeah, it's just set up a table and be like, hey, let's talk about programming and let's make an app.
Yes, indeed.
That's the easiest way to get into it. Most people get into programming by making apps for their phone because it's so relatable. You use your phone every day. I know it. That's how I explain what I do for a living to people. And so, what do you do? I'm like, you know those squares on your phone? I do that. I do that.
Wow.
I make magic happen on your phone.
Wow.
Most programming I know is Excel.
Both of you had me beat, so.
I mean, okay, I agree that's more programming than HTML. So.
Wow.
or Python.
Wow. Maybe I should get into it. I don't know. Nope.
It's so easy, and it's free.
Nope.
It's free. You have a Mac? I know you have a Mac.
Funny thing about that, I'm actually in the market for an iMac right now, but that's mostly for consistent screens between all my stuff and editing pictures, not for...
Consistent screens. No more wide angles.
Hey, let me share my screen real fast.
It didn't look that bad on Zoom.
No,
so
it doesn't.
Skype was a pain in the butt. It
That's Skype
was
for
so
you.
messed up.
Oh man.
Daryl, do you have
Yes.
a meme to show?
Come back to me.
Okay. I always forget to tell our guests about memes, but we like sharing memes. So
Did we forget to do one last week?
Yeah, I think we forgot to do it the last 2 weeks.
Oh man, shame on us.
I'm in the wrong. I'm so bad. I'm a horrible person. We're horrible people here. Let me find mine. I just have to switch to accounts and reload all my Twitter pages.
Good Lord,
Once
Seth.
again.
Actually, I know what I want to show. I just need to find it.
I think I've talked about this. Is an old one, but I've talked about it all the time. I'm showing it. Deep down, we all know the truth that Elon Musk is actually just a Martian disguised as a human trying to get home using frustratingly primitive technology.
seen that around.
Yeah, Jim from the 45th Spaceman tweeted it. I'm like, I love Jim. Yes, he tweets memes.
Where is it? Mine's not necessarily a meme. It's more like a tribute. There it is. There it is. Oh man, let's share this screen real fast. So mine is not necessarily a meme. It's more of a accomplishment.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, yes.
A couple of weeks. It was like a month and a half ago. The joke was going around, and then I actually added Tori Bruno. So I'm like, Tori, when are we gonna see this mustache? And bam, here we go. So
impressive.
You're welcome, world.
Where was this from?
joke. This is from the USSF webcast.
Oh, okay. I fell asleep for that.
After the launch. I slept through it.
I slept through it as well. I set my alarm, woke up for the beginning of the launch, and then slept through it. We didn't talk about that launch today.
I'm like, I'm like, it's a ULA launch. It's gonna be successful. It's fine.
Has anyone else? Okay, I watched the video of it. Did anyone else think like that took off really, really slow?
That's what, when we were watching it, I was like, it's crawling. Like,
It's crawling
I was like,
off. That's what happens when you have a 501. When you
Yeah, it was a 501. So
crawled off the thing, and I'm like, holy crap! Is that thing gonna make it?
I had doubts slow at first, but that was like, it was like a solid 20-30 seconds before it was like sizably above the tower.
Yeah.
That just goes to show you what the kind of difference those solids make, especially something for like the Vega where its first stage is nothing but a solid. It's like 3, 2, 1, peace out, gone. Like that thing yeets off the pad faster than anything I've ever seen. Like that thing does not mess around. But something like this, it's like I'm going. I'm gonna get out of here eventually. Oh,
don't worry about me. I got it. Don't worry.
Who was wearing his Starliner shirt? Ooh.
Oh.
Busted. I don't care. I don't care. They're gonna get there.
Exposed. We all talk about not liking Boeing. Exposed.
Hey, though, I still want him to succeed. I'm gonna give him shit, but I still want him to succeed.
Though we have left them like we have treated them poorly because the X-37B, that is a phenomenal machine.
Is that Boeing made?
Boeing, yeah, Boeing makes that. That's Boeing. And
why did I think it was Northrop for some reason?
No, that's all Boeing.
I'll be darned. Huh.
The fact it stays up in orbit for years,
and
it can come down and land like nothing ever happened. Gotta give them props for that. But you know one thing we didn't talk about that I'm really disappointed that we missed it?
Oh, what?
This ISS Dragon Simulator?
First try.
I've yet to try it out.
I did first try as well.
First try, thank you KSP.
I can't even imagine. I can't do KSP because I've never docked successfully in KSP.
What?
I'm terrible. I don't play that. I don't play as much as I should. But,
dude, I haven't played in like 2 months. Like
I haven't played in a long time. But
I feel bad.
I played whenever I go to the Kennedy Space Center. They have an ISS docking.
Where?
What building is it in?
Oh, is it in the Mars thing? They have like a Mars flying simulator.
It's in that Martian area.
Okay.
They have an ISS docking and a moon landing.
Oh.
They also have a
Right.
They do in one of the other. I think it's in the Atlantis building. They have a like docking. No, it's like a grappling of the Hubble. I think.
Really?
That is hard as hell. That is so difficult. I cannot figure that one out at all.
I'm always so busy staring at the actual shuttle that I rarely go mess around with anything else.
Well, I can't wait. I'm looking. I think I got a decent extension on my annual pass.
Wait, extension?
Because they've been closed.
They're extending?
So I think they're extending annual pass. I know they extended it for 2 months, but somehow mine also got extended another 6 months because for some reason.
They better.
But because I remember when I went to, was it 2 times ago at the Kennedy Space Center? They changed the barcode on all the annual passes, so I had to go get a new tag, and I think they extended my annual pass until like 6 months.
No.
Because I got it from my parents got it for my birthday last March.
then he probably just had like extra time added to it. But
yeah, they
never,
extended the due date to like October or something like that. And then I got another 2 months. Then they extended all the annual. I got email that my annual pass got extended another 2 months.
They never did that for me. All they said was, "Hey, you need to go get this updated." Okay, cool. Got another one for whatever reason.
I'm gonna go there though, and they're gonna be like, "This is not valid." This is what's gonna happen.
Of course.
It's gonna be like, but the date says October. Yeah, well, you bought it in March of 2019. But please.
Mm.
Though the video that they posted, that is a very cool heads-up display.
Yes.
Display. Very
Want.
cool. You want?
I want all the stuff.
Did you find the Easter egg?
I didn't find it, but I know it's there. I saw.
You didn't
I didn't go back to it.
Okay.
I did the docking once. I'm like, I got this.
I docked it first try. I'm like, easy. Second time, like, I'm gonna find the roadster. Found the roadster, and then I love watching Space Coast Steve's where he goes, I want to dock on a different docking port.
Yes.
I'm like, that would be
flying
if I
around
would have
Tokyo.
continued. That would have been me trying to dock on a different docking port.
Hey, Soyuz, get the heck out of there! I want this spot.
I'm gonna dock on Soyuz, right in their engine bell. I'm gonna dock on that.
Wow. So, yeah, I guess that's gonna do it for us this week, huh?
Yeah. So, Alex, I did mention you also you're also an author as well.
Science fiction, yep.
Science fiction. What did you do before doing all this? Because you're an author full time, right?
Yeah, so I've been writing books for 16 years. So that's like my lifeblood is writing science fiction. And from like 2004 to 2018, I mean, I only really had the books backing me up. But now the books kind of led to the website I have, which led to blogging about science, and then that led to making videos about science and like interviewing people on the street. And it was those videos that led to Sidewalk Science Center. But it all kind of goes back to the science fiction books. So I try to include like real research and like actual things that you can read up on in the real world, or like technologies to think about, like speculate on, and like space travel. Like I wrote some of my own equations to get ships between stars and interstellar travel and stuff, and just
That's
things
like
that people can ponder on.
that's like the Martian level like research. Figuring out my own equations.
It's like accurate science and science fiction. I love that.
It begins with accurate science, and then I twist it when I need to. So
Yes,
but,
I like
it's
it,
a lot of
man.
fun.
I have not read them. I want to read them.
Yeah.
They're on my list. Once I
I do
get
have
through.
copies available, so if we ever meet again, I can.
Yeah.
I will be hanging the DM too. I'm going to be out there, not like around a ton of people, but I'll be on the coast somewhere.
And I did
Have
get
you
confirmation
Have you
over
picked
the
a
week.
spot yet?
So what?
Have you picked a spot yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm kind of just a guerrilla, rocket watcher.
Yep.
So,
We know what that's like. It's like get the best spot you can.
And my photographer buddy and I, we were scouting, and we did get confirmation of being able to be on private property. So hopefully we'll be much safer, because the other plans were worse. We're like, let's bring massive tables to 528 and cordon off like 18 feet for ourselves. That was our plan B.
My whole plan was, to do Sidewalk Science Center before the launch and after the launch, and now with the pandemic, it's like, well, can't do that.
Dude, this
Yeah.
ruined so many plans for SCLA as well. Like we were talking like DM2 is gonna be our Super Bowl. Like we're gonna have tables set up. We're gonna have handouts. We wanted to get I wanted to get T-shirts and stickers and like all this stuff, and like do raffles and all this. I was gonna have it was gonna be speakers and pretty much have a party going on 528. And yeah, it's not happening now. But I'll be doing a pretty dope live stream, I think. Hopefully. I just realized I should probably rent those lenses and rent my car so I can come up.
Yeah.
It's getting close. Well,
Don't get stuck in a park again. I mean,
okay, yeah. It's the same car too. I rent the same car every time I come up as well.
I love it.
He
I
knows.
love it.
He knows. Every time I come up, he's like, "Oh, so another rocket launch?" I'm like, "Yep." And he knows that I got his car stuck in the park last time.
Oh,
And he's like,
I
"You're not gonna get my car stuck again, right?" I'm like, "No, I won't do that."
I love how Alex just called you up. It called you out on it. Just like
That was such a-
that's
I
awesome.
was the guy
Hello,
who
police.
picked him up.
Shots fired.
The funniest thing was like they came up and we're just talking with them, and the one guy goes, "We should probably leave, but you're so cool, we don't want to go." They were like so happy that I was like a normal person and not like yelling at them or pissed off or anything like that. I felt so bad for them that they had to like go. But the funniest part though was when you pulled your car around to take all my stuff so we can go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You made it before it looked like that we were just getting in trouble with the police, and then you made it look like that you were gonna get in bigger trouble because you were in, like getting pulled over, and then there was 2 cops behind you. Whenever you know there's 2 cops behind a car getting pulled over, you know shit's gonna get real. I'm like, he took the heat off me. Great.
Oh man, Seth, you throwing people under the bus like
It's
that, man.
fun.
What's wrong
That was
with
a fun night. I just realized we could have just stayed there. They wouldn't have cared.
Yeah, no, and that was actually like seeing where we were at the dock area versus that park. I mean, yeah, they definitely didn't care, and I think there was a great overlook at that park. So.
That park is. I really want to go back to that park. The only issue is that if they close it, the whole thing was I want to be interacting with the public.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do that there. But like, if I just want photography, that park is amazing. As long as you're not by the building with the massive light, you have to be on like the one side of the park. Yeah. Otherwise, there's this massive security light just blinding everyone.
Yeah.
So, all right, Daryl, anything you want to add?
Oh man, one more episode until DM2. So
That's right.
one more. You know what we're gonna be
episode.
talking about next week.
Oh yeah,
Everything except
Crew
DM2.
comes in. We're gonna have all the DMT press stuff's happening this week as well. We're gonna have all that
Yes.
information.
Yes.
We need
we're
to find a
expecting
good
some
guest for next
Starship
week.
stuff.
We need to find a good guest.
We're expecting some Starship stuff too. Static Fires didn't happen today, but
I was
we're still
about to
expecting
ask,
those. Maybe a hop before DM2. Maybe.
They're adding
Who
a
knows?
lot. Yes. Well, so there was a TFR for Thursday
Mm-hmm.
that had the right height requirements for a hop.
Mm.
Because right now every TFR you see for their static fire is up to 1,500 feet MSL, which
Yeah.
is MSL stands for mean sea level. Median
Ah.
sea level. It's pretty much the average sea level across so everyone gets the same. And that's not high enough for a hop. But the one that was on Thursday was, but because they didn't stack fire today, that most likely will get pushed to Friday,
Mhm.
which has other things going on that I can't talk about. But
Ooh.
yeah, and but yeah, we got a bunch of press event coming on this week. We gotta find a good guest to talk about that. I think I have some ideas.
Okay, cool. Well, Alex, it's been great having you on, man. I love what you do. We're definitely going to be paying attention to you, helping you get the word out, sharing stuff for you, whatever you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, man. It's great stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Definitely see it around.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah. And hopefully bump into you one day in Florida. I'm
Seriously, yeah.
coming back. DM2. Making the comeback. I've been stuck in Louisiana too long.
All right. Thank everyone for coming out to the live stream. I said Daryl. You're in Harry and Ed, and the 2 regulars coming in. Everyone else watching it live. Everyone watching it on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, all that stuff. And if you're listening on the podcast version, leave us a review. Keep doing what you're doing. You guys are doing great. See
Thank
you
you,
guys.
everybody.
Yeah, thank you all for coming out. See you guys next week.
Peace.
See you around.